The expectation's not all that high. They're trying to prove some people wrong in the Big 12 this season. It'll be Jop to jump it up against Isaiah Cottrell, guy who started his career in the Big 12 at West Virginia. We're underway, a brand new season of college basketball. Sit back and relax. Enjoy the ball game with us. Elijah Duval, another really talented guard for Southern Utah. He was a four-star recruit that found himself in Cedar City. In possession of the season here for the Thunderbirds. Here's Duval. Going to drive on Ford. And it's a travel, so an early turnover to get the season going.
It's a great stop for a Jop to stay on his feet, not jump on the pump fake and get into early foul trouble. Staying disciplined on defense is big.
You know, you mentioned Jop, and we already talked about it, number 35 in white. He's used to a physical style of basketball, played professionally in Spain for a few years. That's going to be an adjustment for him starting off the year, adjusting to the college style of refereeing.
Most definitely, especially like as a big. You have to adjust to that because the referees aren't going to adjust to you.
Andrija Grbović gets the scoring going for Arizona State. Another overseas player, 6'11" from Montenegro. As we take a look at the starters for Southern Utah, Cottrell and Duval along with Jalen Lee. Three guys to really keep an eye on for the Thunderbirds. Fans here in Tempe will stand until the opponents score. It's Jaden Farrow off a dribble drive. Quick hands by Mo Odom, and a whistle and a foul goes on Southern Utah. You know, Mo Odom really going to be the cog that stirs this drink for Arizona State.
Most definitely. That's what you want from your point guard, the floor general. He's an extension of Bobby Hurley, and that's what you're going to want to have on the court.
Highly talented transfer from Pepperdine, who was fourth in the country in assists per game last year. There's Bobby Hurley in year number 11 at the helm of Arizona State. Celebrated his 30-year wedding anniversary on Sunday to his wife, Leslie. So it's a big day Sunday and a big day today.
Awesome. Congratulations to Coach Hurley and his family. We're ready to get started for this year.
Here's Bryce Ford, only local product out of Scottsdale. A three ball for Santiago Truitt was way off the line. Good contest that time by Jaden Farrow, that 6'9" frame of his. Comes SUU back on the other end. It's Duval. Into the corner for Farrow. 15 to shoot. Breakdown into a three. Off the mark, and here comes Arizona State. The transfer Ford from Toledo. Odom, pull-up triple.
Oh, that was great play, great read. Everybody backed off of him in transition. He pulled up and took an easy shot.
Mo Odom, a guy that was 38% from the three-point line last year. You got to get a hand up and contest him.
You have to, especially with that college line being so close. You got it. It's like a mid-range.
Three ball for Dylan Jones. Rebound high arc. Live and alive for Southern Utah. It's Jones inside to the basket, and that's a tough finish.
Over a height like that, those long arms stretched out, that was just a tough finish he just finished.
Jones, a senior from Saratoga Springs, Utah, a transfer from FDU. Fairleigh Dickinson, one of the name from the NCAA tournament a couple of years ago. Here's Bryce Ford. Grbović. Off the Truitt. Transfer from San Diego. Played in this building a year ago. Had a pretty good showing against ASU. And there's his first bucket in the maroon and gold.
Excellent patience down there on the low block. Backing his guy down to get to the shot that he wanted, that fadeaway.
You know, he spent some time with the national team of Argentina, his native country, over the summer. You just got to imagine that improved his game so much.
Almost definitely. Argentina's been one of the top teams in Olympic basketball for the last 20 years. Had a great teammate from there named Manu Ginobili.
Might have heard of him before. Drive inside, left-handed layup, and there's Duval. That's that athleticism. You know, talking to coaches about Elijah Duval, high motor, very athletic. That's the way they described him. You see why right there.
Definitely not afraid to attack the basket. Definitely going to Jop. Not afraid of contact and finishing over the big.
Breakdown for Mo Odom. His second three that time would not go. But you know this Arizona State team, if they're going to turn heads and surprise people this year, it's going to start and end with number 5 in white.
Of course, like I said, that's their floor general. He's their motor. It's going to be a good point on defense as well as getting the team flowing on offense.
Out of the Bronx, so has that in common with his head coach, of course, that East Coast mentality. The drive for Cottrell, lost it. There's Odom down on the deck.
Great dive for the Blues ball.
It's the big fella, Jop, running the floor inside. How about the big fella for two?
Look, coast-to-coast push, man. That's something different when your 7-footer can get a rebound and push it on the break and finish at the rim.
Only a few strides he can get up the floor. 7-4 reach for Masamba Jop, and you see why this coaching staff, there is a tangible buzz about what he can do. This side as well, although no shot block that time, and it's Duval with the layup.
Yeah, he just got it on the way back. He's got to be able to see the ball. Can't turn your back to defense. or on defense.
Arizona State starting this game out well offensively. Only 3-point cushion. Over 4 minutes in. Here's Truitt. They've also worked really quick tempo-wise to start this game. The deepest they've worked it into the shot clock. 8 to shoot for ASU. Gerbovich has his 3 blocked, gets it right back, a kick out to Truitt. 2 to shoot. Truitt forces up a tough 3, and how about the defensive effort by Jaden Farrow twice on that possession?
No, that was incredible. That multiple efforts is what you want to see on defense, and closing out, contesting multiple threes, and getting the ball back for your team is huge.
How about the big fella? A bunch of new names in this game. Masamba Diop. You'll remember his name real soon.
And international stuff, just like, you know, team I play for, the Spurs, man. Minimum are Americans on the team, and it's wild to see.
7 different countries represented on this Arizona State roster, and you see Trevor Best, the only returner to score for ASU last year. Losing 84% of scoring, there's question marks, simply put.
Most definitely. That's not something that a coach you really plan on when you're going out recruiting and having to replace almost 90% of your scoring, you know what I mean? But they did a great job in the portal this summer.
Couple of substitutes for ASU out of the timeout. Pig Johnson comes in for the first time, and Alan Mukeba. A couple of guys they're really excited about. Mukeba, someone who will probably normally start for ASU, 23 at White, but he's on a minutes restriction today, along with Marcus Adams Jr. They were banged up in the preseason.
Yeah, you know, they're high contact players. They've been taking their time, making sure to get healthy. And I was watching them in practice. These guys look really well. They're going to make impacts on the team right away.
There's Rob Jeter, the lead man for Southern Utah. Previous stops at Western Illinois and Milwaukee, including a couple of trips to the NCAA tournament. You know, we've talked so much about ASU's roster overall. Rob Jeter the same way, dealing with it at the mid-major level. But he believes this team of the WAC this year can make some noise in a 17 league, the final year of the WAC's existence. Here's Odom. Mukeba with an early touch. He's a high motor guy, 6'8" out of Belgium. Spent time in Oakland last year. Top 3 from Adams, no, but there's that strength from Mukeba down low, and there's a foul on the ground before the basket.
He just imposed his will. He just ducked in to get offensive rebound, was strong, drew the foul. Easy contact.
You know, you said it there, strong, and that's the first word to describe Mukeba. He wears that undershirt and kind of does a disservice. He's got absolute guns as arms. He's just a naturally strong guy and certainly can impose despite just being 6'8".
Yeah, no, he might be trying out for a Marvel movie soon.
Second team All-Horizon League last year at Oakland, like we said, nearly 15 points and 7.5 rebounds per game. And, you know, we mentioned the motor earlier when describing Elijah Duval. I think that's another really fair word to describe Alan Mukeba, and a guy that certainly is going to bring an edge to this ASU roster.
Most definitely. And he's got the IQ, too. He played overseas. That's something you see with a lot of overseas talent. Not only are they talented and skilled, they're also, their basketball IQ is really high.
Defense well beyond the three-point line for Mukeba. Hand off to Tanner Hayhurst, who's in there for the first time, a junior from Eagle, Idaho. Early 5-point cushion for the Sun Devils. Step back jump shot from the mid-range. No good for Zach Bell, and here comes ASU. Odom running the floor. Cutting on the baseline drive, and that's a tough finish for Pig Johnson. He's on the all-name team, and you see his athleticism wiry to the basket.
Oh, my goodness, and him playing off of Odom, too. They getting in the break, attacking the rim. He's going to be a constant threat in transition for the Sun Devils.
He's a transfer from the NAIA level. Cumberland University in Kentucky. 24 a game last year. There's a block for Mukeba. Transition offense for ASU. Johnson will pull the trigger off the mark.
Great effort from the big fella down there. Wasn't even in position, came over to help side, blocking the dunk.
Some energy from this ASU team on both sides thus far. Another good effort by Mukeba on a contest, went straight up. He'll stay with SUU.
He's moving with the ball, attacking the big, just finishing through contact, getting exactly the play that he wanted. Rim threat. Allen just coming over weak side help, wasn't even his man. Didn't go up strong enough. Allen sent it home.
I don't think if you've learned anything in the early going with Mukeba, you got to go up strong if you're going to challenge him.
Definitely. You got to either you're going to dunk over him or you're trying to get a foul. Going up soft is not going to get you anything but turn into an ESPN highlight.
Defensive intensity has turned up a lot for ASU. They haven't allowed a point in 2.5 minutes, and SUU 0 of their last 4 from the floor. That's something you can hang your hat on, right? We talk about the question marks. The defense is an area where ASU is going to have to provide a lot of effort this year.
Most definitely. That's something you can always control. You might not always be able to decide how many shots you're going to make, if you turn the ball over or not, if your hands are sticky, but like you can control your effort on defense every possession of the game.
Something you can control as well as not traveling, and Kai Burdick, unfortunately for SUU, did travel there. It's the 3rd giveaway already for the Thunderbirds. An SUU squad that, like so many mid-majors nowadays, their fair share of tough bye games to come. We'll document that as the night goes on, but up to Gonzaga to come, as well as Oregon State. Here's Adams inside. Spin move. Lost it. Kaba almost had it, but Adams poked it free. On the other end, it's Duval, and that's a crafty layup.
A little sloppy.
Forced on the other end.
A little sloppy, trying to get back quickly, strike back fast. It's a little sloppy on the inbounds.
Controlled aggression, right? That's the key. You're going to see first game mistakes on both sides, but those are the kind of turnovers you really can't afford.
No, but thank goodness it didn't lead to a bucket. You know, I mean, it just did, unfortunately, but it didn't go into a transition bucket. That was just people falling asleep on a sideline out of bounds, man. That's like special teams.
And that was a freshman, Cale Barclay, out of Harriman, Utah. Really good talent, high school level. Nearly 19 points per game in his first college bucket. There's Southern Utah back to within a possession. Here's Jop. And back to Johnson. Inside Jop. What a find from Pig Johnson, and a reach-in foul will go against Elijah Duval, who's been, and that's his first foul.
Now, it was great patience off of the almost double team the hedge on the ball screens, and great roll by Jop to get down there and get ready to catch that ball.
I know we were both excited to see Jop play under the bright lights with popcorn popping, all that. What have you thought from his early returns thus far?
I think he looks great. You know, probably a little nervous too, getting used to this game. He's been coming back from an injury during the preseason a little bit, but he's active. He's not settling on just being tall. He's being a threat at the rim. Guy's doing work right now in the early beginnings of the game.
Speaking about doing work, there's Pig Johnson with his second field goal. You know, he turned heads in an exhibition against Texas A&M. 27 points in 26 minutes against an SEC squad at Texas A&M.
He was also extremely efficient. I think he only missed maybe, 4 shots the whole game?
Yeah.
That's excellent.
You know, that game wasn't televised, and you wish it was with his performance. ASU's probably glad it wasn't. Tough to get film on it. Tough fall-away shot for Farrow, and he missed everything. Here come the Sun Devils. They're really trying to push the pace in the early going. And the lone returners for ASU and Trevor Best. And here's Pig Johnson. Nearly lost it. Wing, it's Truitt. That's the first really sloppy possession for ASU in a little bit of time. Bryce Ford, tough three at the end of the shot clock. He got it no matter what.
No, he sized up his defender, looking dead in the eyes, saw the rim, hand down, man down.
37% from downtown a year ago at Toledo, but he's really impressed in preseason, and you see why with shots like that. 8-point lead for ASU. Pig attacking the rim for 2.
Just an excellent rim threat in transition. You gotta get a body in front of him.
The explosiveness is the name of his game, and Pig Johnson, you see why he had performances like that against A&M. 6 points already. Double-digit lead for the Sun Devils. And that effort really proving a point. First 10 minutes of this game. Another missed jumper, and that's going to be a foul called on Jaden Farrow, who was going after the loose ball. A timeout on the floor. These Sun Devils are playing hard on both ends. A 7-0 run for Arizona State, and a deep ball from the local product, Bryce Ford from Scottsdale. The Devils by 10. ASU 57% so far from the floor, but we were just chopping it up during the timeout. It's that inside-out game you've been impressed by.
Most definitely. That's going to be a way for them to keep increasing that percentage on the three-pointers, is to get paint touches to open three-point shoot.
The short corner. Big fella backing down, seeing that physicality, and it will be a foul called on Southern Utah. That's going to be the second called against Farrow.
Southern Utah, they keep letting Job just post up like that. They're going to end up having to send a double team. He's just so tall and such a threat that you can't let him dribble 10 times and get to the front of the rim.
We mentioned it already. That's 7'4" reach. One in terms of his height, but he can also bang down low as well. Catch and shoot off the inbound, no good for Ford, and rebound pulled down by Barclay. Southern Utah started off well offensively. They've since gotten ice cold. They haven't scored nearly 3 minutes. Duval. Open three. And it's Dylan Jones from the wing.
They executed their offense really well. They wanted to get that shot. The pin down on the block led to that three. Great vision by the point guard.
One non-conference home game for Southern Utah against the Division I opponents. These games are really just so important. There's Jop, and what a find from Odom.
Great pass from Odom. And Jop setting a good screen and rolling straight to the rim. Not waiting, looking for the ball at the free throw line. Knew that he was going to have a mismatch and went straight to the front of the rim. Easy find for Odom.
Jones tried to double up on the three. Southern Utah was able to keep possession, though. Matched up with Jop. Jones gets around the big fella. Under 10 to shoot. Cutting inside, Zach Bell. Layup, no. Another offensive rebound for Duval. Three ball for Barclay. And how about the freshman of the early going? Barclay has looked comfortable. 5 points and 2 of 2 from the floor.
It's hard, man. When you don't box out and get defensive rebounds, that's the best way to give up threes, offensive rebounding.
Already 4 offensive boards for Southern Utah. It's led to 5 second chance points. Odom, way too much space, and he makes him pay.
Bingo.
It's the second wide open look we've seen from Mo Odom.
And what's the best shot to take is an open one, no matter where it is. So great screen by Job and excellent eyes by Odom to just take the open three, take what the defense is giving him.
Essentially a line change for Arizona State at the next whistle. 4 guys waiting to check in for Bobby Hurley. They've already played deep into the rotation, and ASU fans will say that's a refreshing sight. Last year, towards the end of the year, they had about 6-7 guys. Best couldn't knock it down from the wing.
But I think we got a foul.
And yeah, there will be a foul. How about Jop so far? And again, he's just making an impact in several different ways.
Yeah, just getting his hands up high, giving Odom a target. That's what you got to do as a big fella. You want the ball, show those hands. Swing.
His free throw good, knocked down by Trevor Best. You know, he had such an interesting story into the fold for ASU last year. Didn't join the roster until January. Of course, he played high school ball with former Sun Devil Jaden Quaintance. Didn't score in his first 5 games in conference play. His last 6 games, though, he averaged 7 a game, including a real standout performance against BYU. He had 18 in that game against nationally ranked BYU, and a guy that, you know, really did turn heads as an Arizona State Sun Devil. He's the longest tenured Sun Devil, but yet this is his first non-conference game in the maroon and gold. Just goes to show how odd college sports are nowadays. 2 of 3 from the line, and so Arizona State's lead is 11, the largest it's been in this first half thus far. But a full court presser here shown by the Sun Devils.
This is another Bobby Hurley special. Delayed, put some pressure on the guards, see if they can handle the ball. We got the talent and athleticism up front to see what Southern Utah made of.
Abelard checked into the game for the first time. 5'10" senior from Las Vegas, number 4 in red. Here's Jones. 10 to shoot for the Thunderbirds. Rock Lee tried to get around Adams, and this one, a foul is called on Arizona State. It'll take us to a timeout on the floor. 7:52 to play first half. It's ASU by double digits on opening night. For example, he's still getting used to the English language. He's, you know, becoming more and more proficient as time goes on, but he understands when Coach Hurley is giving him instruction.
Most definitely, and I heard he knows 4 different languages, so he's definitely going to be a quick study. It's just taking some time.
Including French and Spanish, and those 4 languages do not include English. It's going to be 5 pretty quickly.
It's impressive.
Out of the timeout late in the shot clock, and it's going to be a violation on the Thunderbirds back to Arizona State. 6th turnover already for Southern Utah.
That's definitely what you want to see out of your defense. You want to create turnovers. You love to see getting in transition, but playing defense the whole way, getting to a shot clock, that's excellent.
Sun Devils shooting the ball well overall, 56% from the floor, 3 of 9 from downtown, and I think it's just that effort that's shown out in the early go. Playing hard on both ends of the floor. They're playing deep into rotations.
And they're winning the offensive glass. That's just 3 extra possessions for your team right there.
Mukeba. Heck of a move to free up space, but he couldn't finish. So Avalar on the other end for the Thunderbirds out of Cedar City, Utah. The Western Athletic Conference.
Mukeba on the ball, man. That's your center out there, moving his feet, keeping a guard in front of him.
He's skilled, man. Very athletic. That's a tough mid-range jumper, not even close. Odom's running the floor with Pig Johnson. He's going to stop and pop. Missed the 3 that time. And good hustle for the rebound. Rock Lee gets the possession for SUU.
Nothing wrong with a heat check. He made 2 in a row from there.
Odom with 6 points, 2 assists thus far for Bobby Hurley's Sun Devils. Dylan Jones. Pick and pop. Corner pocket. Rock Lee knocks it down.
Excellent shot. Great execution on the pick and roll. A little miscommunication on ASU's part. Not talking on the switch led to an open corner 3.
We're in double figures 6 times last year for a pretty good Long Island team. That's where he transferred from. He's originally from Atlanta. From Atlanta to Long Island to Cedar City, Utah.
Excellent journey.
Basketball will take you all over the place.
Definitely get some good freaking fire mileage.
An offensive foul on a moving screen against Mukeba.
That's tough, man. Like, the big gets the call, but usually that's the guards going a little too fast, man. Big couldn't get the feet set. But look, miscommunication on the pick and roll led to a corner 3. Simple basketball, easy points.
Give Southern Utah credit. Trailed by double digits a couple of times in this first half, but they've been able to keep it close when the Sun Devils have started to pull away. There's strength from Pig Johnson. And here comes ASU. Adams Jr. spin cycle at a kick. Threw it away. Just trying to do too much that time. On the other end, Avalar. Turn around with the hook shot missed by Burdick. ASU back on the other end. Odom. Man, that speed is deadly, but the left-handed layup wouldn't fall. Pace picking up. There's another swat for Mukeba.
That was an excellent job, man. He was undermanned in the back right there. Big guy in front of him. He hustled back, met him at the rim again.
That timing on that block shot, and that's just can't really teach.
No, and those are the type of plays that give your team energy and deflate the other team. That could be an easy dunk and energy for them, but him blocking that shot sucks the energy out of their game and boosts his team up.
Inside, and a strong finish for Logan Stevens. First time we've called his name. 4th year out of Decatur, Georgia. Spent time at Tulane and Rutgers, and he'll go to the free throw line for a chance at a 3-point play.
Another guy that played with strength. Finishing through contact is such a big thing. You got to be able to finish plays and punish people for fouling while being able to make layups.
You know, it's funny you bring up going back to that block for Mukeba, but even for Southern Utah on that finish from Stevens, when we were talking with Rob Jeter at shoot-around today, he said pretty simply, these games, these early ones especially, come down to fundamentals and who's executing better. And it's safe to say for both of these teams with all the new faces, I know we keep hitting that point, but it's really going to come down to that a lot of the time.
All the time, but especially when you got a new guys that are getting used to playing with each other. That's how it's going to end up. But great play on the block, great patience, taking what the defense gave them, spinning away from the double team, finishing at the rim, easy.
Gerbovic, as we said, it's almost like he was listening to our discussion about fundamentals with that move in the post. Broke a 6-0 burst for Southern Utah. Under 10 to shoot. Hayhurst. Way outside to Stevens. Late in the shot clock. Tough 3 off the mark, and a long rebound falls to Best. He's going to look to push. Best attacks inside, a whistle and a blocking foul on the ground against Southern Utah. That's going to be their 7th team foul, so a bonus situation now for the Sun Devils for the final 4:18 of this first half.
Excellent read right there by Best. Get to the rim. They're in transition. You got to be able to make them pay. Transition is the easiest way to get buckets, and that's what he just did.
So I know we were talking about Best in that first ever non-conference game he's playing in tonight, but it's also, of course, his first ever college summer. Getting to work with the strength and conditioning program. Obviously, having all the resources that you do at a Power 4 level, that's got to help his game, his physicality, really everything to do with Trevor Best so much.
Excellent. Yeah, of course. You have the facilities, you have the tools to help yourself improve, and he's taking advantage of it. He's been here the longest, so he's definitely been diving in the most and showing the new guys how to be out here.
It's funny to hear talking about a second-year guy that showed up in January of this year as the vet. That's the reality for this ASU team. There's a familiarity with the program. A nice little move inside for Zach Bell, but he couldn't finish. Dropped down on the floor, and it's off of Southern Utah. Goes back to ASU, and it will take us to a timeout on the floor. Sun Devils shooting 50% in the Coach Molly Miller, and they'll be back in action tomorrow, or Saturday, I should say. And of course, that's first-year head coach Molly Miller, and a lot of excitement regarding the Sun Devils on that side of the gym.
I believe that's just the whole thing going on with Sun Devil athletics right now in general, with AED Graham Rossini getting everybody fired up. Football, volleyball, women's basketball, men's basketball, a lot of buzz in Tempe.
Fired up about a new Hall of Famer as well.
Yeah, he called me and brought me in on that too. So shout out to Graham for that, man. Thank you, sir.
Got honored on the football field a couple of weekends ago, and well, that was something that meant a lot to you. Really cool moment after your great career here in Tempe.
Yeah, it was awesome to see and experience, and then have my kids there. They didn't get to see me play a whole lot, but to see a whole football stadium cheer for their dad definitely was an awesome thing.
Couple of turnovers on both sides. Here comes Southern Utah straight to the rim, and that's a good attack for Zach Bell.
A little sloppy, a little couple turnovers, but guys will settle down at the time and finish the half right.
We're just talking about football, ASU fans. The buzzword middle eight, right? Final 4 first half, first 4 second half. We're in that middle 8 stage of this game here, and we'll see if ASU can piece together a run. That helps. 3-point bucket for Bryce Ford.
No, an excellent pass from Odom. They executed the play greatly. Job with the pin down. Led right to open 3 for Bryce Ford.
Second triple for Ford in this first half. Very balanced scoring now. 3 Sun Devils with 6 points. That's the team lead thus far. Logan followed his shot. All on the deck, and here comes ASU. Another opportunity where Mo Odom went down to the floor to pick up a loose ball. That's just a winning play from a senior guard. Truitt in the post. That hook shot with the right hand left it just short.
Great move. I feel I haven't seen a hook shot in a long time, man. Good to see somebody actually still has that in their repertoire.
It's like a mid-range pull-up. It's a lost art. It's a relic of the game. Nice footwork inside that time at the finish for Cale Barkley. I'll tell you what, the freshman's impressed us in this first half.
That definitely seemed he didn't get the memo about getting any first game jitters.
He leads Southern Utah with 7 points. Called for the foul there, trying to steal it from Truitt. But Barkley, a guy who averaged nearly 19 points per game for Harriman High School. He was the Prep Hoops 6A Player of the Year in the state of Utah, and playing against a high major program at his college debut, he's looked the part.
He's definitely, like I said, no jitters from him. Great footwork down there on the block with the bigger job guarding him. Use the rim as a defender, help protect the ball, finished easy.
Santiago Truitt at the free throw line for ASU. 1-and-1 situation for Arizona State. Devils 6 of 7 from the line in this first half. There's a good old-fashioned announcer's jinx, but an offensive rebound. Oh, Truitt missed everything, and it goes back to SUU.
Maybe the announcer jinx carried over to the three-point line.
Well, Jeff, now that you're in the business, you need to be on my side on this. We do not have that power.
No, you're right. No, you're right. Because
I
know in games, my aunt would always yell at me for missing free throws, and it had nothing to do with the announcers.
There's Rock Lee on the wing, trying to drive on Truitt. Through some contact, falling away, and there's Rock Lee with that strength. And Southern Utah's got it back down to 6 with 90 seconds to go with the first half. Showing some fight, the Thunderbirds are. Here's Odom. And late into shot clock. Dribbled it off of Avalar, and it'll stay with Sun Devils.
Basketball is a game of runs. No lead stays a lead for too long. You got to be able to weather punches. It's a heavyweight fight, 12 rounds. So, of course, you're going to expect Southern Utah to fight back and claw.
Andrea Grbovic back in there for Arizona State. 10 to shoot for the Devils. Here's Odom. Mukeba trying to set the screen. Odom will roll around it. Get to the mid-range. Throw up a lob pass. Mukeba inside, and the smaller guard on him. And that's very advantageous possession for Arizona State.
Didn't have to dribble, finished through contact. Didn't get a foul, but didn't bring the ball down. That's something you like to see from your big man.
First field goal for Mukeba. We've talked about the presence he's had defensively, and here comes ASU again, back on the other end. Mukeba again. Spin cycle, and the layup just rimmed out. Foul down low, and it will be free throws for Arizona State, as Mukeba can't believe that one didn't go in.
Hey, it's like that sometimes. No matter how nice you talk to the ball, sometimes she just doesn't want to cooperate.
Mukeba still filling up the stat sheet in this first half, though. 4 points, 4 rebounds, a couple of blocks as well, and doing a nice job off the bench. He's in a minutes restriction situation today. I mentioned playing off of an injury, I should say. Marcus Adams Jr. the same way for Arizona State.
And that's the type of things you want to see from everybody on the team. There's going to be some stats that don't show up on the stat sheet, but he's made an impact on the game on both ends of the floor, regardless of how high some of these stats are. He's made an impact.
One more free throw here for Andrea Grbovic. He's 22 years old, out of Montenegro. He's a junior, but it's first time playing college in that league. So he's a true stretch 4 that Bobby Hurley thinks can make an impact in this league. Has experience playing at the professional level, so the physicality of the Big 12 isn't going to faze him.
No, playing in the ABA in Spain, that's one of the top leagues outside of the NBA, especially for local leagues. He played and competed there at a high level. Coming to college, he's going to translate well.
Bobby Hurley's Sun Devils have led by as many as 11. They lead by 10 right now in the waning seconds of the first half. Barclay, deep 3 pop for Dylan Jones. He missed everything, and here comes Odom. Running the floor, the talented guard. Nearly had it poked away. They throw it down low to Jop, and he rocks the rim.
Great vision. Almost lost the ball in transition. Jop ran the floor, showed those hands. Strong finish.
Goes out of bounds. It'll go back to ASU with 3 seconds to go. I'll tell you what, as time goes on, the chemistry between Odom and Jop will be a lot of fun to watch this year in Tempe. A timeout on the floor. As ASU had that use it or lose it timeout, they'll try to draw something up. Final seconds of the first half.
Yeah, honestly, as a big, that's the first relationship you got to solidify, is the one with your point guard. I'll take him out to dinner a couple times, you know, because that's how you're going to get the ball, man. You keep your point guard happy, you're going to get easy points.
We haven't seen it yet, but talking to this coaching staff before this ball game tonight, they said expect 2, maybe 3 lobs a game moving forward between Mo Odom and Masamba Jop. That is going to be something that they really incorporate into their offense.
I mean, it makes sense. You got a point guard that can attack. It's a threat. You got a big that can roll and is agile and athletic at the rim. It just makes sense to do that. So once they get a little more under their feet, they're not playing against each other in practice. They'll get a better flow in the games and start seeing more and more of those lobs between them.
Final 3 seconds. We'll see what ASU threw up out of the timeout. Mukeba will throw this in. Baseball pass to Jop. Jop from well beyond the 3-point line, and the shot not have counted anyways, and that ends the first half of play. Some good, some bad. Had 30 games last year at Pepperdine when he had at least 5 assists. This is commonplace for him. But a turnover to start the second half. And Jones will kick out in the corner. Dribble drive around Jop, and the finger roll is good for Jaden Farrow.
So that's one of the things when you know you have a 7'4" wingspan, you don't need to run at the ball and play defense like you're 6'1". Use your height to your advantage and shoot, make them shoot a contested shot over you.
Dream start for Southern Utah out of the halftime break. 2 turnovers for ASU, and bucket on the other end.
Yeah. Jop getting subbed out real quick, probably for that very reason. He'll be back.
First-year player, the freshman. Those are the mistakes that, especially in this conference, once the calendar flips to the new year, those are the mistakes you can't make, especially for an ASU team that is not being given much of a shot to make noise in this league. Cottrell inside. He was really quiet in that first half as was plagued by foul trouble, played just 6 minutes. Late in the shot clock, a heave is no good, and Mukeba's there. He'll pick up the rebound for ASU.
Excellent job protecting the rim again. Cottrell had inside position. Mukeba did a great job recovering and protecting the rim.
Here is Mukeba inside, and he's going to draw the foul. Is coming over. Help side was Rock Lee, and he was just far too aggressive. He's called for the foul, and that's the first on Lee. You know, you mentioned that rim protection, and certainly we've mentioned the defensive intensity and how that travels. Rim protection does as well. Even if you're not blocking shots, just making an impact, making the opponents think about that is such a big factor.
Oh, definitely, especially later in the game. We joke about it. You start hearing people's footsteps. You know, you start thinking about those footsteps behind you, and you don't want to get your shot sent to the stands. So, you know, them being aggressive like that is definitely going to help.
There's the three-point shooting ability for Alan Mukeba. We saw the blocked shots in the first half. We saw the athleticism. How about the three-point stroke?
There you go. This is what we want to see. First game of the season. Let's see what you got.
Foul there on Mukeba in that physical defense, but 7 points, 4 rebounds, and a couple of blocked shots for Alan Mukeba.
That was just a great job by Allen on the three. Bryce Young attacked. Didn't get a paint touch, but definitely attacked the basket. Led to an uncontested three.
And again, remember tonight he's on minutes restrictions. He's probably going to be a starter moving forward. It's going to be a much different looking team for ASU once they get a few health things figured out later in non-conference play. There's a tip in for Cottrell, but you know, this is an ASU team that unfortunately has been plagued by health issues throughout preseason workouts, even into the exhibition seasons, where guy they expected to have a really big season for them in VJ Wallace. He was lost for the year in that exhibition against Texas A&M.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. You never want to see a player go out for a whole season. A healthy recovery to
Now, you were just mentioning Jop and that quick seat he had to take. Well, he's going to check back in here in just a moment. So teach the freshman, get him right back out there in game experience. 6 to shoot, by the way, for ASU.
That's usually how it goes. I've seen Coach Pop do that a couple times. I've seen guys get subbed out right after the jump ball. So, you know, Coach got him on a short leash, but he's letting them learn, coach them up, and then get him back in the game.
Really believe can develop into a really fine big. Burbovich, no, and the rebound picked up by Cottrell. He's really making an impact after, like we said, he was nearly invisible in the opening 20. Three-point shot is an air ball. And here comes ASU back on the other end. Rebels by 11. Odom, left-hand dribble drive and a kick out. Big Johnson couldn't quite get it to go. He's strong around the basket. Jop took a tumble on the other end, and here comes Southern Utah. Corner pocket three. Another air ball for the Thunderbirds.
And they're getting open shots. They just aren't able to convert right now.
Truitt had it tonight. Cottrell was there, and block shot went off of Dylan Jones. It'll stay with ASU, but for the Thunderbirds so far in this second half, like you said, they've had the open looks, but they're not just missing, they're missing badly.
Yes, but they're making it up on defense, though. They're getting back. They're making it hard. They're contesting at the rim. They just haven't been able to convert on offense yet.
That hustle play by Cottrell. Former 4-star recruit, went to Bishop Gorman High School in Las Vegas. 2 years at West Virginia. 3 at UNLV. This is 6th year of college basketball. Jop. The freshman outworks the 6th-year senior.
Great work. Just don't worry about it. Don't think about it. Just grab the ball, rip and go. See if he meets you at the rim.
And that's the response after a mistake defensively. Jop making an impact on the other end of the floor right after he comes back in. Hesitation and a layup for Duval.
That's an aggressive. I love seeing guards that aren't afraid to attack the bigs. As a big man, I didn't like seeing it, but I respect it, you know.
You can say it now that you're in the suit, right?
Definitely now, yes.
8 points for Duval. Jop. Extra pass. Truitt straight away. Going off back iron.
It's a good miss. Paint touch from Jop led to a kick out. Great hands.
It's a risky play for Jop. More times than not, you're probably going to get called for the reach. Got away with it there. It'll stay with the Thunderbirds. And a couple of subs in there for Arizona State. Mukeba and Adams Jr. return.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to do a gamble as a 7-footer at the, at the logo. Definitely taking yourself away from the basket is not what you want to do.
Something we talked about early on, partner. Jop trying to play defense and adjusting to the college game the way it's officiated. Hasn't committed a foul tonight. There's an open three for Farrow. Another missed shot. SUU now just 3 of 15 from downtown.
They're going to have to try. I know they're afraid of the bigs and their length, but they're going to have to try and get some stuff at the rim.
Take us to a timeout on the floor. Talked about number 35 in white a lot tonight. Masamba Diop at his first ever college game, the 7-footer out of the Senegal, and he's on that list. 8 points, 3 rebounds. It's been very balanced scoring tonight against Southern Utah. But we were just talking over the break, partner, about his ability to get humbled, get pulled out of the game early out of the second half after making a mistake defensively, came right back in, and his response has been impressive.
No, that shows that he's just not a true freshman. Like, he's had some experience. He's been in situations where that's happened, and he came back out and got back to being himself, made an impact in the game right away.
Well, the majority of his life in Spain, although he's from Senegal. Some time in the Real Madrid system in Spain. 5 to shoot. There's Pig Johnson. Had to throw it down low to Diop, and there's a turnover. And, you know, Arizona State, say what you will about the first half. There were some ups, some downs. They were never really stagnant. That's what we're seeing to start the second half.
I think they might be trying to put a little more emphasis on execution, but also give credit to Southern Utah. They've picked up the intensity a lot after halftime, and they're coming out ready to play, got something to prove.
Elijah Duvall's at a double figures now with 10 points, 5 of 7 from the floor. And the Thunderbirds, again, just hanging around. That's all you want. Looking for an upset. Got it within single digits, 15 minutes to go. Odom. Net denied. Elijah Duvall. His older brother played at Duke. Stravon playing overseas now. And certainly he's got the lineage in his family. He's been impressive so far tonight.
Look at that play. Just not even using the screen. Rejected the pick and roll and just got downhill from the top of the key. First play. That's something you got to pick up as you're on defense on ASU. But at Southern Utah, that's something you want to see.
Stepped in immediately on day one. He's a leader on offense and defense on this Thunderbird program. Very impressive for a freshman. Mukeba, speaking of impressive, he's really shined all over the floor tonight.
Just imposed his will on the inbounds, ducked in, and got to a simple, easy hook shot.
He's got 9 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 blocks in 10 minutes. How about efficiency? 3-point shot no good by Duvall. The 3-point struggles continuing for Southern Utah. Now 3 of 16 from downtown. Keep possession here, though. Farrow in the corner, had it ripped away. There's the strength from Nkuba. And it'll stay with Arizona State.
Great hustle on defense. Maybe take a breather and find your point guard.
I've been impressed with 23.
Honestly, the Sun Devils have showed out pretty well this first game of the season.
Some glimpses, some glimmers of this brand new team.
In the beginning of November, that's all you can hope for.
Best to mid-range, too. Who said it was a lost start? First field goal for Trevor Best.
Yeah, a lot of people are falling in love with the three-point line, man. A lot of mid-rangers getting left wide open. So I'm good to see that he's taking advantage of it.
Good contest on the other end. The rebound, a high arcing one for Adams.
Excellent rebound.
All passing up the floor. Not a single dribble, and a big dunk for Diop.
Great way to share the ball. Got out in transition. That was incredible. Great finish by Diop. Didn't want to lay it up. Put his head on the rim. That's what you want. Wild to think about the end of conferences, man.
Seeing the WAC and obviously what happened with the Pac-12 as well. A missed jump shot. Southern Utah just can't buy a bucket. Best on the other end. The float game, no. Got his own miss, and then he's fouled. So nice job with the springy put up by Trevor Best, and he'll get a couple of free throws.
And great run by Adams Jr. in transition. Him running the floor like that, looking for the ball. Got that open layup and the rebound for the foul.
You know, going back to that conference realignment talk, obviously the WAC, as you saw in that graphic, there's been so much movement. So maybe that isn't a huge surprise, but with the Pac-12, and you would have told you know, ASU would be in the Big 12 5 years ago, you would have thought it was crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, how's that possible statistically? Like, who okayed that?
What we're in now, right?
Hey, we'll figure it out.
And it's been good for the Sun Devils in many sports.
Yes.
And to find their footing in basketball, both in the women's and the men's side still, but football, volleyball, great debut seasons in the Big 12. Follow flush inside for Jaden Farrow.
That's tough. That was great rim protection by Diop. Got to have his teammates help him out and box out his man when he goes and contests shots at the rim.
Here's Odom. Looking for his big fella. Gets all the way out to Best, and it leaked out to 12. He missed the 3, and it will stay with the Sun Devils. Six points, 5 assists so far tonight for Mo Odom. 22 minutes. He's going to be a guy that's an Ironman. He's going to play 35-plus minutes a night for this ASU team.
And Coach Hurley is going to ask a lot from him day in and day out. He's definitely going to be expected to be one of the main leaders on this team, lead this Sun Devil team.
Jop will put the ball on the deck. Strong move inside, and he draws the foul. You know, I think out of all the big praise we heard about Masamba Jop coming in, I did not expect to see him be able to handle the ball. And we've seen that a couple of times tonight. That one fast break in the first half, and on that occasion as well.
Yeah, and then even before, he faced Cottrell and just ripped past him and attacked him at the rim. He's not going to back down. He has that too, but it's great to see that he has a face-up dribble game, that he could be a threat other than just having his back to the basket.
We mentioned the fact that his English is still something he's working on, but because this roster is so international, he's being able to speak the other languages he's fluent in, of course. Alan Mukeba speaks French, so they can communicate in that language. And then how about Marcus Adams Jr.? He speaks Spanish, even though he's from the States. He's from Torrance, California.
California,
that Spanish influence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, SoCal's not that far from Mexico, man. So you got to learn. You got just living there, you end up picking up a little bit.
It's Elijah Duval. I was going to throw some Spanish at you there, but I decided against it.
No, you could. I know Spanish.
I'm saying I'm not confident.
Oh, I was going to say, I was like, hey,
not you, my man. Here's Cottrell. And Duval off the dribble drive around Pig Johnson, and another strong finish for Elijah Duval. He's going to score a lot of points for this SUU team this year.
Definitely. He's being aggressive. He's not worried about the score. He's keeping his team in the game, just leading by example, attacking the rim, regardless of the height that ASU has at the rim.
13-point cushion for Bobby Hurley's Sun Devils. Jop had his pocket picked. A foul will be called before ASU got the ball back, and so it'll Southern Utah basketball. Third team foul on Arizona State.
A little tough. It was hard for Jop to get by anybody. It was a little crowded on that side of the floor, but they did a great Southern Utah did a good job attacking in transition off the turnover.
And on Gerbovich, his second. Under 12 to go in the ball game. Opening night here from Desert Financial Arena. Look out to Cottrell. Late in the shot clock, 8 to shoot. Lost it momentarily. Jop will pick it up, and here comes ASU running ahead. Best. Kick out. 3, Gerbovich. Way off the mark. Here come the Thunderbirds back on the other end. Lob attempt, and that was just way offline, intended for Cottrell. And it'll be a timeout on the floor.
Much needed.
11:27 to go in the ball game. Both teams gassed here in Tempe. It's the one saving grace of that schedule is Arizona, the only team out of all those they have to play twice. But even so, there is not a single game in the Big 12 that's easy. Wow, the athleticism of Mukeba yet again on the alley-oop out of the timeout.
I know we had talked about the Odom Masamba Jop connection, but it's good to see other Sun Devils working that lob connection.
11 points now for Mukeba alongside Jop for the team high in points. Southern Utah's been so reliant on the 3-ball, and they've just had next to nothing in terms of success. 3 of 19. Pig Johnson coast to coast, but might have been partially blocked. The Thunderbirds on the other end. Dylan Jones on a step back. Short. Mukeba. Ford a 3. Truitt an offensive rebound. Turn around, take a dribble. Go up with it, no, and the sloppiness just continues. For Southern Utah, it's been Elijah Duval who's been able to get inside, but besides that, a whole lot of settling for jump shots.
Like to the detriment of your team. We haven't seen any paint touches other than Duval getting to the rim. There we go.
It's a quick timeout taken by Rob Jeter. Duval right on cue has really been the bright spot for the Thunderbirds. He's got 15 to lead the way by a long shot. And it is a 30-second timeout with 10:04 to go.
Those records matter, man. It's a whole nother ball game, literally.
And these ones count. And ASU trying to pick up win number 1 on the season. Eagles have had a lot of success in opening night games under Bobby Hurley. Here's Odom. Will drive baseline. Swing pass. Pig Johnson.
Thought about Pig Johnson getting to where Odom could see him so he can knock down that open three.
They can roll into points easily. Barely played in that first half due to foul trouble, but even despite that, he's got 9 points. Kick out Odom. NBA 3. There's back-to-back triples for Arizona State.
Odom got Pig Johnson a 3. Pig gave Odom a 3, man. You just help each other out. That's how it goes.
The brotherhood in Arizona State's ballooned this up to 18 just like that. A 6-0 run thanks to those 2 triples. Cottrell trying to get around Jop. Good defense for the freshman inside, but that's a tough finish for Isaiah Cottrell.
Excellent job splitting the defense on the drive and finishing over the 7-footer.
Arizona State now 7 of 19 from downtown, aided by those back-to-back threes. Here's Ford, another guy that can shoot it. He'll drive inside, left-hand layup is good, and the lefty gets right to the rack.
Might have been a little miscommunication in the scouting report. Definitely likes to go left.
It's his dominant hand, and he was left with the golden road to the bucket. Jop will pull down another rebound for Arizona State. Here comes Odom. The Sun Devils trying to blow this thing open. A lob inside. Truitt catches and finishes.
Great vision and chemistry from the guys.
An offense that started out stagnant. They've hit their last 4 shots, and they ballooned it up to 20. And a run away from Southern Utah. Jop with the swat. It'll stay in play. Bell. Another block for the freshman. Masamba Jop is everywhere right now. Can he pick up a third? No, but he'll get the rebound.
I was waiting to see the Dikembe finger wave, man. He could have used it there for sure.
Odom inside. He tried to lob up to Pig Johnson. It's deflected out of play, and it'll stay with ASU after the timeout. There's the energy. There's the pop from Arizona State going into this timeout. The offense and the defense rocking on both ends. 3 balls for Pig Johnson and Mo Odom. And Arizona State and the 20-point cushion over SU.
Ooh, I like that.
Freshman center. Man, he is balling out tonight in his college debut.
No, like I said, I don't think he got the memo about the first game jitters. Can't tell he's out of the freshman. He's playing composed like a junior or senior upperclassman.
Good feet, good hands. That's what we heard coming into tonight, and he has shown that off. 3 blocks now to go alongside, 11 points, 4 rebounds. And it's just his fluidity, I think, overall, Jeff, that's really stood out to me in this.
Yeah, and I like he's getting rebounds, he's getting dunks, he's doing everything you want from your big man.
Arizona State is on a 12-5 run right now, allowing them to pull this out to a 20-point lead. And that's what you want from games like this. Spy games, if you were, early out of the season. And these are not always guarantees. I mean, we saw a massive upset last night. Boise State, who is a team many expect to make noise. They were upset by a Division II team as another bucket by Jop.
That's crazy, but this is March Madness is starting early.
Yeah. We were talking about it at Shoot Around today. I know it's called March Madness, but upsets happen all over the country at any given point, especially nowadays with so many new faces on a lot of these high major teams.
Yeah, the rosters and the landscape is changing every season. Almost seems like it's changing that month by month.
Foul will be called here on the Sun Devils, and that's going to go against Pig Johnson. That's going to be his 3rd foul. Mentioned the Sun Devils in their schedule. We showed you the Murderers Row. They'll be back in action again on Sunday. 1 p.m. tip Mountain Time, 3 Eastern. We'll be back on the call here on ESPN+. A couple of whack opponents to start the season for Arizona State. Makeba, Adams Jr., along with Trevor Best back in there for Bobby Hurley's bunch. Energy, I think, is the word I'd use to describe this team so far.
Definitely.
Hasn't been pretty. There's been energy all the way through from the tip.
Definitely a hustle, some effort. The sharpness, and that's not there yet, but you're not expecting to be the sharpest tool right now. It's November, so you definitely want to finish this game with some things to work on, but you also want to have some high notes to talk about in the film session tomorrow.
14 new faces. You're going to have some growing pains.
Most definitely.
An offense look here for ASU. Odom. Little breakdown into a three. That's way off the mark. And the rebound to Rock Lee. Southern Utah likes a lot in terms of his potential, and he goes coast to coast there. Timeout will be taken right after that layup. So Rock Lee gets the bucket. He's now up to 7 points, and there will be another 30-second timeout, so we'll stay with you here. Early on in the season, Jeff, we've talked a lot about it, and this applies to both teams. Obviously, you're going to have growing pains, you're going to have struggles. But this is where your coaches, your assistant coaches, they can really shine, because practices are so important this time of year, it seems like.
Yes, and then even right now in these timeouts and these funny situations in these games, you got to start having guys start talking to each other and start figuring out solutions to what's going on, because you want to start nipping the bud now before it becomes like a bigger problem later. Like you said, that conference, the schedule is coming, is going to be ruthless. So, you don't want to be dealing with things like that in December and January.
Some of those transfer additions in terms of Division I transfers, so many guys coming over from the international ranks. But obviously Mo Odom, the one that really stands out there in terms of guy that really was an impact player at the WCC, some mid-major transfer talent in terms of Adante Holloman, who will not play tonight or hasn't played. He's dealing with an injury. He's a guy that's expected to be a pretty good scoring guard for this ASU team as well.
I think Coach Hurley has some pretty good weapons this season. It's just going to get everything lining up correctly, get the cogs of the wheel turning in sync.
Finding those rotations is going to be a big challenge for the 11th-year head coach. Throw ahead, and they will find Cottrell. What a dime. And it will be Isaiah Cottrell. A chance at a three-point play.
But again, it's Duval. He's making an impact. He's making his presence felt everywhere in this game right now. Offense, he's leading his team, getting himself and his teammates buckets, as well as getting rebounds and playing great defense.
This is tape that'll play for Elijah Duval in terms of his first collegiate game, the freshman, as we said. And you can see why he had a lot of buzz. Potentially going to go the JUCO route out of high school. Ended up finding his way to Southern Utah, and playing against the high major tonight, he's looked really good. 15 points for Duval. He leads the way for Southern Utah. He leads everyone in this game thus far. The Birds looking for one last push. 5.5 to play. Johnson, triple threat through. He lost the ball. Here comes Southern Utah. Here's the aforementioned Duval. Kick out, quarter three. Another missed triple. Southern Utah now 4 of 22 from deep. Johnson poked away from behind, but the foul is called. And that'll go against Elijah Duval. That's his third.
It's good to see both teams get down in transition, but there's going to definitely be some film the coaches are going to be watching about how sloppy both teams have played tonight.
Pig Johnson to the line. Real name is Anthony, but goes by Pig, wants to be called Pig. So we're going to do that. Started his career at North Key, 24 points per game last year. You know, if you're coming up from JUCO to NAIA to D1 in the Big 12, you're going to play with a massive chip on your shoulder.
You have to. You feel like you've been looked down on your whole career. Now you get an opportunity to prove the player you are. This is a great stage for him to do that.
Double figures in his first game at the D1 level. Here's Cottrell. Drive inside for Jones. Had it deflected. Up for grabs at the timeline. Truitt. 3-on-1 inside. Johnson. Acrobatic adjustment.
Man, he thought he was going to catch a lob and ended up getting the ball almost thrown at his feet. Still was able to finish. Great play.
It's one of those plays where you're clearly not thinking, you're just reacting. Overall athleticism of Pig Johnson. Duval. There has been at least 6 or 7 air balls tonight from Southern Utah. That last bucket for the Sun Devils. Ooh. Tried the lob that time to Jop, but it was read like a book by Duval. Back the other way for SUU. Wing triple. Another miss. Offensive rebound and a putback for Farrow.
I think we were talking about it earlier, partner. Duval's vertical jump is about 40+ inches.
Yes.
Even Jop being that tall, you got to realize personnel, man. You got to throw it where only the big can get it.
He can touch the rafters where your number should be up there.
Hey, good pass.
Wow, the big fella Jop left it off to Gerbovic.
Love seeing, I mean, Gerbovic isn't really a big, but I love seeing the big connections, man.
It's a thing of beauty. Another bucket for Arizona State in the painted area. 40 points in the paint so far for the Sun Devils. And timeout on the floor with 3:38 to play. ASU looking to move to 1-0 on the year. Play out the stretch.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card.
72-54, playing out the stretch here in Tempe. Braden Bell, Jeff Ayers, and I'll tell you what, when you're playing with an ASU Hall of Famer and an NBA champion, you know you're going to get a lot of attention. You're like the mayor of Tempe. Everywhere we've gone today, we're getting stopped, you're getting hugs. People are saying hi to me for some reason. You're the show, man.
Nah, man, they came here to see you, man. They just seeing who that tall bodyguard you got is, man. They want to meet him.
That's why I like rolling with you, man. I always feel safe. I feel protected. Cottrell knocks down the first free throw. Look at the curtain of distraction. First time did that. They have that when you were playing here?
Definitely not.
Okay.
No. Some games we had a hard time even getting some students in the stands. So, you know, when Harden came, though, it changed. But I love seeing the curtain, man. It's such a cool, unique thing that they have.
I was going to say, once Snow showed up in Tempe, things changed a little bit in terms of the fan support. There's a violation there, 5 seconds, and so sloppy play for ASU. It'll go back to the Thunderbirds.
That's a special teams execution, man. Side out of bounds, press break, underneath out of bounds. You guys got to be locked in timeouts to be able to execute. But credit to Southern Utah coming out and bringing up the pressure. They're down 18. They're not playing like it. They're playing like they're ready to win this game.
Signed up for 40. And inside off the inbound, Rock Lee gets another bucket. Presses on in a 14-point game with 3:30 to go. Wilder things have happened, so stay with us down the stretch here. Arizona State's going to try to take the air out of the ball. Slows things down offensively. Here's Odom. 8 assists, 9 points tonight for Mo Odom. That's the stat line you love to see if you're a Sun Devil fan. Mukeba inside. Driving, Adams lost it midair. 2 to shoot. Tough 3. No good. Rimmed out that time from Gerbovic. And you mentioned it, Jeff. Southern Utah, they've ramped up the intensity here in the closing minutes.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that's really hurting them is they're not making any threes. If they were making some threes, it'd be a lot more competitive ball game.
4 of 24 from downtown, and the other big difference is the free throw line. Southern Utah has only taken 4 free throws in this entire game. ASU, meanwhile, 11 of 16.
Wow. I mean, the credit to ASU for playing hard-nosed defense and playing without fouling, because it's not like Southern Utah hasn't been aggressive. Despite those threes, the ball has been attacking the rim consistently.
Here's Mo Odom. Euro stepping inside. He lost it. No foul was called, but it'll still be ASU ball with 15 to shoot. And this is not a finished product for Arizona State, as we've mentioned a few times already. Mukeba on a minutes restriction tonight. So is Marcus Adams Jr., a guy that averaged 16 per game last year in the Big West. Injury to Adante Holloman, so things are not rounded into final form, not only because it's early on in the season, but also in terms of guys being healthy, playing their full amount of minutes as well. And it looks like we're going to have a stoppage here with 2:38 to go, and maybe our first review of the game.
ASU's been dealing with some tough injuries. They had 2 bigs hurt earlier in the preseason. They came back healthy, and then now they got 2 guards that are hurt. So when you have a full team, you can, it's a little different, but these guys are pivoting and they're fighting, and that's really what you want to see, so that when you have a full team, you're firing on all cylinders.
No one's going to feel bad for you with injuries, right? It's
No.
those things that every team goes through, but especially when you're so raw in terms of newness of a roster, it really hurts you in terms of your growth process in the preseason practices. The challenge here to see who this was off of. That's the review. It was marked that it would be ASU ball, the initial judgment. And off that first look, must be said that Southern Utah might get this ball back. One to note, Southern Utah with just one timeout remaining. So if they lose this challenge, they'll not only lose that challenge, of course, but they'll lose their timeout. It would be their last timeout remaining in the final 2:38.
That's such a tough thing to do as a coach. I know coaches use their timeout strategically and need them, but he's trying to get extra possession for his guys. It's a risky gamble.
He's trying to win this game. It's the kind of last gasp, if you will.
Yeah.
You pull off this challenge, and you need to play pretty much perfect basketball for the final 2:38.
I mean, I've seen some wilder things. 2.5 minutes is a lot of game. It's only 14 points. Anything can really happen. So, ASU's got to stay on top of their game, but Southern Utah has turned up the intensity of that full court press. If they can get some easy buckets in transition off of turnovers from that press, even though it's 2.5 minutes left, it could be a ball game quickly.
As you said earlier, you're exactly right. It's the threes and the free throws, the only difference in this game.
Yeah, they're pretty even on the rebounding. They're pretty even on assists, pretty even on turnovers. It's just, the 3 points and the free throw line.
It was a successful challenge, and so Southern Utah does get that possession back, and they keep that final timeout. It's called by Rob Jeter there. Bell will throw it inside to Cottrell. And a foul is called with 2:25 to go, and that's the last thing you want if you're Arizona State, is to foul and allow the Thunderbirds to score with the clock stopped.
Definitely, you want to keep it going as much as you can, keep them off the line. But this is something that Coach had talked about beginning of the game over at shoot-around this morning. Wanted to attack a little bit more inside. Coach Jeter definitely wanted to see a little more physicality inside, and Cottrell is doing that. Not settling for threes. They see that hasn't been working, and he's making a presence felt inside the paint.
I really enjoyed our talk with Rob Jeter earlier today, and but he was like, I've been tempted almost to get 4 bigs out there, slow the pace, do the opposite of what everyone is doing nowadays in basketball, regardless of level. He said, I'm not quite there yet, but I've thought about it before.
I love the thought, man. People try to go smaller. Like, where's the coach going to do the opposite, man? Let's go big. I see guard used, but can I see a big you?
Why not? They do have some length, and it'll be interesting to see how they factor into the WAC this year. 3 is knocked down, and that is huge for Bryce Ford. That's his 3rd triple of the night. Guy that grew up watching his sister play volleyball here. He said, I've always loved this school, and a dream come true for him to be a Sun Devil now after transferring from Toledo. He pops out from the corner.
What a rebound by Allen.
Odom was spinning around and was fouled, and every time he falls down, you grimace if you're an ASU fan, especially now that he's limping afterwards. He's just so important to this team as the floor general, as the true point guard and the distributor. He's going to make everyone else around him better. You can't afford to lose him at all this year.
No, especially in a game where you're up 15,
yeah.
It's not that serious. You want to get the reps in, you want to get people comfortable, but it's not worth it to potentially add more to the injury list.
Ooh. Staying there right now, at least. They'll throw it down low to the star of the night, Jop. Got stuffed by the side of the backboard and then ended up being fouled. So Masamba Jop will head to the free throw line, where he's 1 of 2 so far tonight.
I wonder who gets that block.
Basketball guy.
That go to a team stat?
Yeah, it's a team block, I guess. Right?
Because he's going to get a missed shot attempt.
Partner, I want you to fill in this sentence for me. Masamba Jop tonight, the most you've been impressed by is?
Damn, him pushing on the break earlier and getting to a Euro finish. You know, that looked like Giannis to me. And if you can, a comparison to Giannis is pretty incredible, man. He's one of the most dominant players in the NBA.
Yeah, he'll take that every day of the week. Missed shot off that free throw and into the closing stages of this game. And people still watching with an eager eye. Under 90 seconds to go. 16-point lead for Arizona State. Jop backing down. Pig Johnson hoists the three. Why not another for Pig Johnson?
Inside out, man, is key. You want to get better three-point attempts and looks. Get the ball inside, collapse the defense. Shooters, get your hands ready and let it fly.
Pig leads the way with 15 tonight for ASU. Minutes to go in this one. Jop. An offensive foul before the block. It would have been yet another swat for Masamba Jop. Would have been his fourth, but instead a charge is called.
I love that. Sacrifice your body for your team on defense, man. You can't want anything more than that.
In a 19-point game with a minute to go.
Exactly. It matters to him. Like you said earlier, he's got a chip on his shoulder, something to prove. That's one of those plays right there that proves that.
A nice round of applause for big number 35. He's someone that this team and this program is going to love watching grow throughout the year. The whole program with a chip on their shoulder this season. Picked dead last in the Big 12. That scramble for the loose ball. Remaining seconds here in Tempe. Another athletic swat by Pig Johnson, but they're going to call a goaltend and count the basket. My goodness.
Did he block that with two hands?
Yes, he did.
Jeez. Yeah, we were talking about volleyball earlier. Is you trying out?
He was way above the rim on that blocked shot. Have another look at this.
And look, you can see right now, he's a three-point line in the corner on the other side. Ran all the way back to contest that shot at the rim. Like you said, up by this many points and still putting multiple efforts out there. He just took a charge, ran back in transition to protect the rim. It was a goaltend, but that's the type of effort. That's winning effort right there. That's championship effort.
Timeout by Southern Utah with 38.5 to go. And it is a full timeout on the floor. Southern Utah will go back home. They've got their lone Division I home non-conference game on Saturday. UTRGV will take on SUU. That's a old conference opponent. I mentioned the schedule coming up for Arizona State. Utah Tech on Sunday, and then a game that many are looking forward to, the back half of a big-time trip to Maui, and also play the Rainbow Warriors.
Right before, I love that. Shout out to my guy, Patty Mills, is the general manager over there now. Love that guy. Good to see him doing his thing post-basketball career.
Again, living in Hawaii, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I guess I could slum it out in Hawaii for a little bit.
You wouldn't be seeing me often if I was out there, I'll tell you that much.
You know where to find me. Right by the beach, probably eating some shaved ice.
Surfing the sand. Sun Devils break the press. This will most likely be their final possession of the ball game, and a foul will be called on Elijah Duvall, so it'll be 1-and-1 free throws for Arizona State. And SUU, we said it earlier, they signed up for a full 40 and they're playing out the stretch.
Yeah, they're gonna keep going until it says 0-0 on the clock.
A chance for Pig Johnson to shoot more free throws and add to his scoring total. 15 tonight for Pig. 4 rebounds, 3 assists as Mo Odom will take a seat and freshman Cash Polk will check in. Polk out of Argyle, Texas, 6'10". Only freshman on this roster.
And that's so.
Kid coming in for Southern Utah, and benches being out for both sides. Langston Binns, as well as Logan Stevens for the Thunderbirds. Not done yet. Chooks Isai Tua also in there for SUU. One more for Pig Johnson. At some point, this game's going to end, Jeff.
Hey,
I promise you.
I don't have a curfew, man. I'm good. I don't have to study off anymore. I'm good.
Yeah, you probably don't miss that.
No, man. That's why I graduated early. I didn't want to have to deal with that anymore.
Johnson will sit down. One more substitute because why not? And this will be the final possession of this ball game. So many new faces for Arizona State. There are going to be growing pains, but there were some glimmers and some bright spots tonight for the Sun Devils. Mainly a 7-foot freshman from Senegal, Samba Diop, now with 13.2 to go. Big free throws here for Logan Stevens. Senior out of Decatur, Georgia. Played early on in this game. Hasn't touched the floor really since opening few minutes for Southern Utah. Now the Sun Devils can dribble out the clock. That's a tough one right there for Southern Utah on the road against Arizona State. But the Sun Devils on opening night win this thing and improve to 1-0. 81-64 the final. Arizona State picks up the win. The new faces